Is that you?
Yeah. Sorry, is it too loud?
We're live. Yeah, it is. Hello and welcome to Mind Tripping with Michelle. I'm your host, Michelle Melio, and I will be your host for the next hour. This week we've changed the name. It's no longer Free Psychic Readings with Michelle and Robin. It is now Psychic Hotline with Michelle and Robin, because we feel like when you have a psychic question that needs to get answered, you need a hotline and you need it fast. So today we will be answering live psychic questions via phone. So if you'd like to call in, we also have some email questions that were sent in to us earlier in the week. We're very excited to answer those. And we'll also be talking about our hot psychic topic today, which will be premonitions. So you can learn about premonitions. We're going to give you some tips on how to recognize a premonition, whether it's something that's going on in your own head or whether it's something real, how to distinguish the two. So I would like to welcome you to today's show. As you can see, I have a brand new background here. I have all these cards in the background. This is background number 2. So as I stated a couple of weeks ago, or I believe last week, I'm going to be changing the background from my studio over the next few weeks, and I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear which one you like the best, and hopefully your vote will count and you will get to see your favorite background on our show when we have a regularly scheduled program. Right now we're on Mondays, 2 p.m. And next week we will be doing our interview. We'll be interviewing Samantha Banks, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that later on in the show. So it is my honor to introduce to you my co-host, Robin. And Robin is a dear friend of mine as well as a fellow psychic. She's been extremely helpful during my busy time getting ready to move, and while still maintaining Mind Trip production. So welcome to the show. Welcome, Robin. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Michelle. How are things going with you and the move?
They're going good. Thanks for asking. We're in the final stages now. You know, we've made our agreement with the buyers, and now we're just waiting for the bank and the title company to line up. And my psychic intuition is telling me that I'm not going to get much warning for that.
Well, that could have definitely happened. It happened to me, so it's just one of those things. You know, we ended up closing a week earlier than planned, and so I had to hurry and push everything forward. And you know, I think you're doing good, and if you have that forewarning, then you absolutely will be ready to go when the time is right.
Yes, thank you. And I do remember that I was the plan was that I was going to go help you with your move, and it just happened so fast. It got moved up so much that we weren't able to, give you a hand. And so I guess sometimes we just have to go with the flow. And hopefully this time next month, now you're on track, I'll be back on track, and everything will be going smoothly. It'll be all moved in. It'll be in my brand new studio, which will be a permanent studio. And so I'm real excited about it.
Well, good. I'm glad things are working out.
Thank you. I also, how was your Easter? It was yesterday, right?
Oh, yeah. We had, the kids have been out of school all last week for spring break, and so they've been home with me, and my husband had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, so we've had a pretty laid-back weekend. We worked in the yard all weekend, and
nice.
Just doing a lot of nothing, but yet necessary things that needed to be done, if that makes any sense. We didn't go anywhere, so, it was just a really relaxed week at home.
That's awesome. How was the weather? Because I know I keep asking you that, but, you've moved from sunny Florida to a little bit colder climate, not far away, but far enough that you got a shift in the weather, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. What I noticed is the earth here is different from Florida. Here it's a wet dirt, almost like a muddy clay underneath the grass, whereas in Florida it's like sand or reddish clay in some areas. But so that's the one major thing I noticed about being here. The weather, I'm not that far away that it's any different from where we came from, but yet the cold is a lot colder, like 40 degrees here versus 40 degrees there. It's a lot colder of a 40 degrees than a Florida 40 degrees. So that was quite a difference for us too.
No kidding. Yeah, I remember that. Like New England, it was hard for people that I would try to explain to the New England cold or New England summer is so much different. And I hadn't even thought that it could have a lot to do with the earth, and just there's so many things that are different and feel different. So I hope that you're staying warm. I will definitely crochet you some mittens and scarves this winter.
Well, thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, after I'm done with mine, of course.
Oh, of course. You're going to a much colder climate than I am.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I'm glad you had a wonderful Easter. I'm glad that you got some things done around the yard. That sounds really nice and laid back. I think a lot of families nowadays are doing that. It's just more chill, the holidays. They're not as crazy as they were when we were younger.
Well, we noticed that when we go on vacation or on a vacation, you have to take a day or two off when you get back because a vacation wears a lot out of you.
Yeah. So true. So true. Oh, my goodness. So I've been busy working on, in between packing up, I managed to get the Mind Trip Academy site is up now. And I have NLP, my first NLP video course. Now, it's not my first NLP training that I've done, but it is my first live video course. And that's going to be available on May 1st. And you're not going to believe this. You're not going to like this one, but I know that it's the right thing to do. My guides told me to, but I am discounting that class by $1,000 for the first 20 people that sign up for it. It's a one-time offer. I'm not doing it again, but it's going to be $179 instead of $1,179. So I'm real excited to announce that.
That's awesome. That's a great deal.
Yeah. And it's not because, I'm desperate for the money or please, please, please sign up. It's because I'm also setting up my home study course and I need video for it. So I said, well, if I'm going to create the video anyways, why not let a few early adapters take advantage of that, watch the video live, and then I can edit it and offer that with my home study course. So it doesn't go without my getting something out of it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So so if any of you would like to join, or if you'd like to, let me know, Robin. But it's the same as an in-person class. You get your NLP certification with the American Union of NLP. You also get a certificate of completion from Mind Trip Academy. It's an 8-week course, and it's a huge saving. So you can just go over to the mindtripacademy.com and check it out, and also or contact me, and I'll be happy to point you in the right direction.
Okay, that sounds great.
So what's been going on with you and your business?
I am actually now working on getting the what do I want to call it? The Skype sessions that I'm doing with essential oils with the house party I'm doing from Germany. Oh. I'm getting together everything I need so that I can send it to her before the party, and then when we do the Skype session, I'm going to be live here at home doing her home party there. She's going to be my hand as I'm speaking and explaining everything. So I'm trying to get all the demo stuff ready and set up, and so that I have everything before I ship it to her, and we're doing that next month.
Wow.
So that's going to be fun.
That's awesome. I'm
So
excited.
that's what I've been working on.
Good. And were you able to find your oils? I know you were still unpacking, but as soon as Robin finds all, yes,
I have found most of them.
Yay!
I still am. I know. I'm still looking for one box that has remained elusive, and it has like my big giant desk reference in it that has stuff like a doctor would use, and that's the one I rely on heavily. I still have not found that one, but I'm not giving up. I know it's here somewhere.
Well, as soon as you find that one, we're going to schedule the essential oils broadcast, and I think that will be a lot of fun. That'll be educational.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I do like doing them. I like giving people an alternative to what they could go and purchase at CVS or Walgreens or from the pharmacy. You could find stuff at home to use, especially if you have the right oil.
Yep. Awesome. Well, we do have some psychic questions today. What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah, we've got 3, and I'm really excited to do the psychic questions. I don't know if you want to jump right into that. Do you think we should probably?
Sure, we can do that.
Sure. Okay, so let's go. We're going to go to our first psychic question. And I'm doing things a little bit differently today. I actually have them written out on the screen. It's really cool. I think you're going to enjoy it when you check back, Robin. So our first psychic question is from Sharon. And Sharon is in Middleborough, Mass. And she's considering a major career decision at her corporate job. She wants to know what the best course of action is for her to take.
Okay.
So what do you think? I think maybe we'll have you want to answer that one first?
Sure. Okay, so the cards I pulled are a bunch of messenger cards. So she's got a lot of different things going on. Kind of almost like she has more than one decision to make. There's more than one way she could go. Almost like there's more than one position available and she's not sure which one to take. And if she chooses one, there could be delays and setbacks and some issues with that one. And I'm being told she knows exactly which one that is. There's a lot of worry with it. There is I want to say a little bit of betrayal by somebody that she already works with. She does have somebody that is almost like befriending her, trying to find out if, or maybe trying to stop her from getting the job that she really wants. But she should just push through because I feel like things are going to be bigger and better for her for the job that she is desiring, that she wants. I just don't think she's going to get it right away. She's going to have a few delays with getting this job where she may think that she's not going to get it. And she may think, well, maybe I'm pushing too hard. I just need to back off. That's not the case. She needs to keep continuing to move forward, but maybe not tell so many people about it because somebody in where she's working now is holding her back from doing that.
Wow. Don't you just love when people do that?
Well, she's just, lot of different messages. People are like feeding her things, and she doesn't really know who to trust and who she can say that, okay, well, they told me this and somebody else told me this. Which one is right? You know what I mean?
Yep,
She's got there's too many hands in the basket. There's too many people telling her something, and she needs to step back, go with her gut, and say, no, I know this job is perfect for me. This is where I should be, and go for it. But maybe keep her mouth shut about it until she does get it.
So keep a lot to yourself, Sharon. And keep your mouth shut. No, it's like but sometimes.
I say it bluntly, so if that's the way it comes out, that's the way it's meant to be said.
Yeah, and I think it's great advice.
Some people don't appreciate that, okay, you're telling me to keep my mouth shut, but you know what? That's the Holy Spirit's telling me to tell you. So that means that maybe you have said too much to some people, and they may be jealous that you're going for this other job, or they don't want you to have this job because they're not good enough to have it, and they want to keep you on their level. So in some cases, keeping your mouth shut is the better option.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's great advice. Listen more, speak less, keep your mouth shut, have that quietness, and see where it brings you.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. Do you have any other advice for Sharon?
Like I said, I don't see her getting it right away because there's somebody at her job holding her back, and it to me it feels like a jealousy issue almost. It's somebody that she holds close is keeping her from getting this job. It could be her boss. Maybe she's trying to get a job over her boss's head, and you never know. It's just one of those things that you never know.
Yeah. Well, I pulled some similar cards in you. I definitely got my Two of Clubs, which is conversations, and right next to my Two of Clubs is walk away from conversations. Don't have conversations about it. Keep it to yourself. Yeah. I think that kind of sums it up as like really what is the best course of action. Like you said, she knows, your guides are saying she knows exactly what we're talking about here. And so she's just simply asking, what's that best course of action? And I agree with you. I think the best course of action is really not to say anything right now. Be careful who you're speaking with. Be careful who you're talking with about it. And just take it
they're going to be, it could either be a male or female. I think that's what it's telling me. They're not letting me know who or what. It could actually be a couple. It could be maybe the people coming in to help you. It could be a husband and wife team. It could be something having to do with that, but they are going to be very stable for you in how they work with you and your company and the holistic part of it. I think they will have a lot to bring to the table as far as what they have to offer you. So please be open-minded and keep that in mind when you're talking to somebody. Is there like a fair or a festival or something coming up for you?
I just signed up today for an expo.
Okay.
The Mind Body Expo.
Perfect, because that's what they told me, is that there is something fair or festival related. You're going to meet these people at that festival.
Okay, well, that would be great, because I am really open to this.
Take a lot of business cards, test them out, and get business cards from other people that happen to come to you so that you can make those contacts, because at fairs and festivals, if it's way too busy, you don't have time to stand there and chit-chat because you need to, be out there and be promoting and getting yourself out there. So, but just keep in mind, it is a male and a female that are coming through. So it could be that they're going to be there together.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. And thank you. And, that's great news, because here you are worrying, that maybe, looking for direction for yourself, and you're guiding yourself right in the right direction. I think that's fabulous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I said, I've been open and willing to work with people for years, and it's always fallen through, not on my end, but on their end. So this is really cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Thank you
for calling in.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Show.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Robin and Michelle.
Have a great one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Oh, she's so
Bye-bye.
sweet. Okay, so I think we're back on the air, which is great. I guess we'll see what happens. I know you can hear our voices. I'm not really sure what's happening with my, let me see. I think that the problem is that we're just really kind of frozen.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's okay. I was able to get us back on the air. You can hear our voices. So we'll just broadcast this way and, keep moving forward,
Technical difficulties, you've gotta love them.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So next on my shopping list for next week is a fan for the room, because it just gets so hot in here. So we have another email question, if you'd like to go over that real quick. This one, I'll answer if you'd like, and then if you have anything that you'd like to add to it, you're welcome to. And then we have the third one, we'll have you answer and I'll add to it if I have anything. So my second question, okay, great. My second question is from Judy. She's here in Florida. Judy asks, will an opportunity come up to work with my gifts in an established business? Now, first I'd like to say, Judy, I am shuffling some cards for you, but the first thing I'd like to say is that it's a very general question. And I know that's okay. But at the same time, we've got to ask, will you ever, is that a question that you want to know, if you will ever have an opportunity to come up to work with your gifts in established business? And I think that probably what you're asking is if this will come about for you in the near future. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask if in the near future you'll have an opportunity to work with your gifts in an established business. So my cards that I've pulled up for this are the 7 of clubs, the Jack of diamonds, the 10 of spades, the 2 of spades, and the 5 of hearts. First of all, I want the 7 of clubs really lets me know that you really already know the answer to this question in your heart, and you know that And usually when we know an answer to a question, it's sometimes because we've actually had a little hand at helping create it, with that whole belief that I have, that what we think about most in our life, we draw the people, places, and things into our life to make it reality. That 7 of Clubs suggests that that really there's a lot of problems around that. You working in a local established place, a lot of little problems. And I feel like you could you could overlook 1 or 2 of the little things that would be problematic. But at the end of the day, there are just too many of them. I do see money for you, though, with this career choice. I do see money for you with your gifts. I just do not see them in an established business right now. Eventually, you will have a change of heart and things will start to shift and change for you in this area. And when they do, I believe that is when you may be working in your own place, because I do see new business. I do see getting everything to work out. But I just feel like you are an in-charge person, and it's important for you to be in charge of your own schedule, your own talents, your own gifts. And not that you don't, who does, right? Who does enjoy having somebody, kind of tell us our schedule and how it's going to go. But you particularly, you work best when you are the person in charge and you are the one making the plans. So that's what I see for you. I do not see you anytime in the near future working in an established shop, but I do see you making money at this, and I see you someday creating your own established business. How about you, Robin?
Perfect. I got that. I do see changes coming up for her. I do see that she is I get more of a sense of her personally, where I feel like she's a very down-to-earth person. She has high standards of living, but she's down-to-earth as far as, people are drawn to her as far as somebody they can go to talk to. So I don't have anything that says nobody's going to approach her about anything, but that she's going to have some new commitments and some new changes and some things coming up for her. I also don't see her working in an established business. I feel like she is better on her own. I do see creative success. So almost what she puts out is what is going to happen, just with her creativity and with, I'm not sure what kind of gift it is. I'm feeling colors, a lot of colors, like maybe painting or portraits or something to that nature. I see a lot of colors, very creative colors, your yellows, your oranges, your greens. I see where she is going to be able to help a lot of people, just not in the type of establishment she's talking about.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. It sounds like we're just right on with that one.
Well, that's good. I mean, I hope so. Hopefully
right.
These people can write back in and let us know how they thought about our predictions of their questions, and that would really give us validation as far as what we came up with as far as answers.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Please feel free to get in touch with us. Let us know the accuracy of your reading. We'd love to hear that. Love to hear from you. So fabulous. Good stuff. Okay, so I have managed, I just want you to know that while you were talking, I have managed to get a picture of you and a picture of me on the screen. So lovely. We are partially live. People can look at our faces and listen to us talk. Lovely. One,
very good.
yay.
Something to look at, right?
Yep. And, you know, it's a work in progress, and that's why, you know, the whole month of April is our, you know, our testing process, our testing time. So, so we're testing the waters, and I think we're doing great. I really do.
That's good. But you're handling the technical side of it. All I do is call in. So, you know, more power to you.
Well, and I'm real excited about it because once we work out all the bugs, it's really going to be seamless and a lovely experience for everybody involved. So, you know, it's just getting there. And speaking of getting there, we do have a young man that wrote into us, and his name is Derek, and he writes in from Fort Myers, Florida. And he asks, will I ever get married? And he asks,
wow.
Yeah, he asks ever.
Ever. Yeah, that's the big word. That is one of those words that kind of, with that sentence, we don't want to hear that. It almost makes it sound negative or depressing. It's almost like there's such a depression issue going on with it, almost like he's been dealing with this for so long, and will I ever get married? And you start putting that negative vibe with that sentence, and it's not going to happen. It's one of those, you put negativity out, you're only going to get negativity back. So maybe change up that sentence or the question and ask it again, like, when will I get married? Or is the right person for me out there? You know, different ways of asking that question get a better, more detailed answer. But we'll see what we can get. Okay, so will I ever get married? I see yes.
Ooh.
I have the 4 parts that came up, which is a wedding. So I would say right off the bat, yes. To who? The next person is the Queen of Diamonds. So this person is going to have a very busy, well-organized person, perfectionist. She's going to have some, you know, money. She's not going to have to rely on you as far as what I'm getting. And then the next one is the 3 of Diamonds. So there is also possible promotion, job promotion that comes with this. So also love and money. So yeah, I see you getting married. So that was the question. So will I ever get married? Yeah.
Wow, very, very cool. That's awesome. I want you to know I got a yes as well. I threw out 3 cards, and I've got you know, I've got my Queen of Clubs, my Queen of Hearts, and my 6 of Diamonds, which tells me that it is going to be somebody I believe that he's going to meet in the workforce. It's going to be somebody that perhaps he works with or works together with. She definitely has her own money. She has her own business. She does her own thing. She has more than enough money. But I don't see it being a I support you, you support me thing, because I also see that, for me, I see that it's when he's in a place of money as well. And it feels almost as if they kind of step into this place of prosperity and abundance together and end up getting married from there.
Yep, that sounds good.
I love, I want to say I love doing my time frames. I like testing them. And especially where he said ever. Usually, I don't know about you, when I sit down with somebody, they say, well, when do you see that? So I did pull a card for that, and I got 7 of clubs. 7 of clubs, 7 months. You're going to meet this person within 7 months' time. You will know your future wife within 7 months' time. That's what I'm feeling on that.
That's cool.
So we'll see. We'll see. We'd love to hear back from you. Derek, Sharon, Judy, who we called in? And Jean. Yes, we'd love to hear back. We'd love to hear how, you know, how accurate they were, how helpful this was. And please tell your friends about our psychic hotline every other Monday at 2 p.m. I promise you it will get better. let's talk about the hot topic. The hot topic of today. And I had this wonderful little video that was going to play and go, hot topic, and something was going to sizzle and all that. But you'll have to wait now until the next Psychic Hotline with Robin and Michelle to actually see the video and hear it. But, you know, our hot topic today is premonitions. You know, I remember my first premonition. I believe I had shared this before on the show, and you know, feel free to interrupt me and correct me, Robin, if I have, because I don't want to go on and about the same story. But when I was younger, before I developed my psychic skills, I kept getting this dream over and over and over again that I was reaching over to pet this dog, and the dog bit me, and I could look down on my hand and I saw the blood. And I had this dream for a long time. I want to say, of course, I was young. I was probably 11 when it happened. And it probably felt like it went on for a good 8 or 9 months. Of course, in kids' years, that's probably only a month. but my mind, it was about 8 months. And the premonitions or the dream stopped finally when a good friend of mine was reaching over to pet a dog and was bit and had stitches in her hand. It was the same dog that was in my visions. And it was the same hand, and it was even the same cut. That is a premonition. That is being able to see something before it actually happens. Do you have a memory of a premonition, or have you ever had a premonition before, Robin?
I've had very, very vivid dreams where, and I'm one of these people, I don't remember my dreams unless they are so vivid that they wake me up out of a dead sleep, and then sometimes I remember waking up that I was having a bad dream, but don't remember what it was. But the premonitions I have are mostly if I'm daydreaming or doing automatic writing is what I was trying to think. Kind of like you can have premonitions and daydreams and messages come through just like that, just like if you were in a dream state.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, almost that deja vu feeling if it's kind of like for me personally, but if it's for someone else, it's like I had one about my grandmother, and I told my dad about it, and he was able to take her to the doctor and have it looked at before it became an issue. So I was very, very glad it hadn't waited till the last minute to give me the premonition. So very grateful for that.
Wow, that's cool. And I think you make a really great point there, Robin, because my premonition came in the form of a dream. But a premonition doesn't necessarily mean it's a dream of something coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's great that you have them when you're automatic writing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite site on the internet, besides my sites and your site, Wikipedia, tells us that a premonition is a strong feeling that something is about to happen, especially something unpleasant. So we had a premonition of imminent disaster. So notice that when Robin and I shared our premonition with you, mine was about a friend mine was about being bit by a dog, and hers was about her grandmother needing to go to the hospital. So traditionally, a premonition is a feeling, a vision, or just a knowing that something is about to happen. And it's not necessarily, a disaster. It can be something as simple as just needing to get the message to get somebody to the hospital in time. Do you have anything that you'd like to add to that, Robin, or your opinion on the premonition?
Just to pay attention to your dreams or anything that you might think. If you're daydreaming and something comes across your mind that you weren't particularly thinking about, write it down. They're not just ordinary dreams that you would dream while you're sleeping. Premonitions are like a forewarning of what is coming up for you or for someone else. And whether or not you're paying attention and listening to them could be very important.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's great advice. I keep a notebook by my bedside. If I have a dream, usually for me, that dream is recurring. At the end of the day, I think our hot psychic tip is that if you have a gut feeling about something, or you have a dream about something, or take action. I mean, I'm sure most children or most people would find it challenging to go to a loved one and say, "Oh my goodness, I had a premonition, and I think you should go to the doctors." But sometimes, I think the most important thing, like you said, is don't brush it off. It's better to be wrong about it than to ignore it, ignore the signs, and miss out on something.
Yes. Better to be safe than sorry. It's okay if you end up going to the doctor and there's nothing wrong. At least you can go, well, hey, good. I'm glad nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting and then something does happen and you're like, man, I wish I'd have told them. I wish I'd have done something. And like you said, it's that gut feeling that, and a lot of women chalk it up to women's intuition. Well, yeah, that's another way of saying exactly what we're talking about. It's like, take your pick. It all adds up to in some form of intuition, that premonition that we have. It's like, if you get that feeling, don't shrug it off. Do something about it.
Yep, exactly. And another point that I'd like to make is that, what's the difference between a premonition and a panic attack or an anxiety attack? Because there is a difference, and there is a fine line. And for me, I tell my clients that a premonition is usually emotionless. A premonition usually doesn't wake you up in cold sweats and make you feel like you need to bolt down the doors and run and hide, and the heart doesn't usually race. All of the things that come along with an anxiety or panic attack do not usually show up, or they're not usually present during a premonition. A premonition is usually a gut feeling about something, but it's still almost as if you can't really place why you're having that feeling. Does that make sense to you, Robin?
Absolutely. A lot of times, especially if it's not about me personally, it'd be, why did I just think about that? Why did I just daydream that was going to happen? Well, because it wasn't for me, it was for someone else, and I needed to tell them. So, even if it doesn't ever happen, just putting it out there that it could be a possibility might help somebody.
Yeah.
Because they'll be aware of it and they'll be looking for it.
Right, and what they do with the information, or what we do with the information is, is really, why do we have premonitions? I mean, why do they occur? Why do they happen? It's got to be some form of fail-safe, some form of protection for, the human condition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be scary for some people. They wake up from a dream panicking, and that's one of the things they tell you not to do. Don't panic. It was just a dream, but it might have been a warning that something could happen, and maybe you should talk about it with a family or friend or whoever it was that was in the dream and discuss it and see if it's something you should take care of. Also, I find that having, like you said, the notepad and pen or pencil at your bedside is good. Sometimes I have things pop up and I have nothing to write on and nothing to write with. Well, thank goodness, for apps on the phone these days. I have a notepad on my phone, so I'll just kind of, I'll use that and put stuff on the little notepad there. But always date stamp it. I have found that some of the stuff that I come up with, it's almost like writing a journal. Put a date by the dream or the premonition or whatever it is that you had that you wrote down. And then when it does happen or somebody mentions it, find out what day that was. And then you have a time limit of when you get the premonition. And so maybe a week later it actually happened. That gives you sometimes a heads up. You've got a week to let somebody know this is going to happen.
Right.
Some people don't have that long. Some people have a day or an hour or whatever. But it is actually kind of cool in a sense, as long as it's not damaging to somebody else, to know that what you actually dreamed or what you told them actually came true or could have come true had you not warned them about it. So it's actually validation for us as readers and as those that get these premonitions to know that we're not crazy, This actually could happen.
And also you kind of get an idea, if you keep that journal, you get an idea, okay, this was kind of weird, but I couldn't place it and I wrote it down and it never happened or nothing came to fruition with it. But this one felt a little bit different and it did. So it gives you an idea of recognizing your premonitions for future because you have something to compare it to.
Yes. I could tell a story about one that I had from work. I don't know if we have time though.
Yeah, we do. I'd love to hear it. I mean, is it like an hour-long story?
No, I just wasn't sure how much longer we had.
We have 10 minutes left to the show. I'm being silly today.
Okay. All right. So I used to work for the United States Postal Service, and we have such strict standards in our office. We weren't allowed to talk to each other. We weren't allowed to do a whole lot of things before I retired. They were starting to clamp down really tight on all the rules and regulations and everything. So before all of this happened, a lot of us were friends. We would stop and eat lunch together. We would take breaks together and do all this stuff. So you kind of create bonds with people that you work with that you don't necessarily have hang out with them after work. These are work friends. Okay, so I had a friend that she and I both shared the same birthday. So this is something that the two of us had a connection with. In my dream, I had her primarily in my dream that she was mute. I couldn't hear a word she was saying. She would be talking, and I could not understand her. Well, in this dream, she was in a mail truck, and she asked me to go get something out of the back of her truck. I lift up the back of the truck, and there's all this wadded up money in the back of her vehicle, her work vehicle, and I'm just like, what the heck? How come she has all this money in the back of her truck? And then I go back in the building, and I said, I couldn't find what you were asking me to get, but why do you have all that wadded up money in the back of your truck? And again, I could not understand the words she was saying because she was not audible. She picks up a laundry basket and goes out to the truck and starts scooping up all the money and putting it in this laundry basket.
Wow.
Okay, so I had no idea. It was just the weirdest dang thing ever. The next day after the dream, I'm at work, minding my own business. She walks by my case in the office. And like I said, we're not allowed to talk or anything, and most of the time I do not remember my dreams, but as she's walking across my case, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was you. It was you in my dream. And she's looking at me going, what are you talking about? And I said, I had a dream about you last night. And I proceeded to tell her what happened. And the previous day was my day off. So I hadn't been there in 2 days. So I didn't know what was going on in the office. I didn't know what had happened. Mm-hmm. But I tell her what was in my dream. She proceeds to look at me with big, giant, silver-dollared eyes. Like, how in the world did you know that? Because you weren't here yesterday. And I went, you know what? I don't know what you're talking about. She proceeds to tell me that on her route, she delivers to a laundromat that got robbed.
Wow.
The day I was off. And I had a dream about it that night. Told her about it, and she's like, I don't know how you knew that, but this is what happened to me. And she was telling me that as she was going into the laundromat, these guys that robbed them had just come out with a basket full of money, a laundry basket full of money.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, didn't know that. I'm glad you're okay and all, but yes, that's how it worked for me, was that I had a dream about something that happened to her that very day and told her about it the following day after it happened. So just weird stuff like that can happen, but doesn't mean you shouldn't say anything about it. I just thought it was extremely odd and just blurted it out. I just had to say something.
Wow. Yeah. And sometimes you're compelled. I mean, American Airlines Flight 191, which was back in 1970, this man, David Boothie, had the same nightmare that he saw a jetliner veering off a runway. And like you, he saw it flipping completely over and then burst into flames, and he was compelled to call the FAA about it. Because, 10 nights in a row, you're having a dream like that. And the FAA actually listened to him. And, on the last night of his dream, they had determined that he was talking about either a 727 or a DC-10. And on the day that he had his last nightmare, that was when, American Airlines DC-10, that famous, flip. And it burst into flame, it crashed right after it took off. And so that's just a perfect example of, it's a great advice to be compelled, but you almost are compelled. You can't, until you say something, you keep having the dream,
Right. Yeah. I just felt it was such an odd thing for me to dream something like that. And then when I saw her, the dream kicked in, and I knew exactly what happened and everything. Whereas when I woke up, I just I don't know why I dreamed that, and I went to work as usual.
Yeah, isn't it crazy?
It is.
It's cool. And there's just story after story after story of, of famous premonitions. So it's not just, it's not just small town, it's not just being bit in the hand, Hurricane Katrina. There are many people that claim to have had premonition about that. The Sandy Hook school shooting, lots of people again claimed. The famous 9/11. I mean, the events. There's just so many people that had premonitions about it. I don't know if mine was an actual premonition or not. I had a feeling something bad was going to happen. Just not to that magnitude, and to the point, actually, that was the day that I was heading out to start my business and start selling my Mind Trip Productions products. And I didn't go because it just didn't feel right. Something wasn't right, So, yeah, I mean, we would love to hear about your premonitions. We would love to hear your experiences. with whether they're primitive dreams or, you know, just gut feelings that you've had and what's happened with that. You know, please, you know, share on our YouTube page on Mind Trip Productions on YouTube or our Google page, or, you know, you can shoot us an email and we can add it in for you because, you know, we have fun doing this stuff. We just love it. I'll make Robin do it.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
It's what we do all the time, so we are definitely, this is something we are into. So any feedback would be great.
Yep.
Can we talk about next week's interview?
Yeah, that's a great idea. So next week we are interviewing Samantha Banks. I'm really excited about this because, and I will have her banner up by the end of the day today. But Samantha is, you know, she is so down to earth. She's so great. She has wonderful personality, and she's a light worker. And not only is she a light worker, but she also helps and teaches other light workers how to be a light worker. How friggin' cool is that? I mean, what a better job could you have than to train people to be light workers or be better light workers?
Mm-hmm. We could all use a little boost.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, so many of us are self-initiated, and I never really understood, you know, the mystery school teachings or anything about that. So if, you know, for our listeners and our viewers, if you have any questions about being a light worker, what the next step is from self-initiation, ways that you can magnify your ability to help others and to be a healer and a teacher, please don't miss next week's interview with Samantha Banks. Her website is mysticsjourney.com, excuse me, MYSTICS journey, and we'll be sharing that next week as well. And you know, it'll be a great time. So please feel free to join us. We look forward to seeing you. And I want to thank you for listening in and watching and keeping the faith, because these shows are only going to get better from here. You know, Robin and I, we like to try every single avenue possible. And once we perfect it, we just run with it. And we are just moments away from perfecting this puppy. So stay tuned. Keep in touch. Send us your psychic questions for 2 weeks from now. We had a few that we couldn't get in. They're starting to fill in, so make sure you get your psychic question in early to make sure it gets answered. And thank you so much, Robin, for taking time out of your schedule today and being my co-host. And we hope to entertain you again next week.
Well, thank you, Michelle, and have a great week ahead.
Thank you, Robin. You as well. And to all of you watching and listening, be well and namaste.